Hi, I'm Jenny Lee of Lac 5 Fiber Arts and Lac 5 Studio, and this is episode 2 of my Fiber Arts Friday YarnCast. So welcome, and I'm so happy to have you here. I specifically am recording in the morning to try to help make up for the light show that I sometimes get in the afternoon with the sun coming in this window. So I am ready. I've got an agenda. I'm going to try really hard to look at the camera of the phone and not at myself on the phone. It's a little bit weird, but I'm going to do my best. And I'm just going to dig right in because this is a full agenda. So first of all, I just want to say that this podcast is actually sponsored by me, Lac 5 Studio. So that may seem weird, but it's my Fiber Arts podcast. And really, at the end of the day, I'm an artist, and I want to just make sure that I point everyone to that work that I do. So, although on YouTube, it's a combined channel with my fiber arts and my art, on other platforms, which I am on many, it's separated out between Lac 5 Studio and Lac 5 Fiber Arts. You can find me on Facebook, X or Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. That's right, I almost forgot TikTok. So you can find me on TikTok as well. I just want to thank the people who have subscribed already to the YouTube channel. That's really exciting. I'm about to hit 1,000 followers on Instagram, on my Fiber Arts page. That's pretty exciting. So a couple milestones coming up this week. So I just want to encourage you, if you liked my last podcast, if you liked my last podcast, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, all that good stuff. So, first thing on the topic of business is I did the yarn haul last time, the mega yarn haul. I'd gotten yarn from Amazon, Hobby Lobby, eBay, and Yarnspirations, and I missed one of my eBay scores, and when I got the sewing machine, I actually also got a couple skeins of yarn on clearance, so I just want to talk about those first real quick. Let's scooch this out of the way. So first things first, on eBay, the other thing I had gotten was these 4 skeins of Bernat Multiply, and I actually didn't even really know what I was getting into. This is called Berry Blend, and it is, let's see, 149 yards, size 5 yarn, and basically what it consists of is 6 strands of different purples, I guess. So I wasn't really sure. I didn't really realize, I guess that's what it was, but I just thought it was really pretty, and I got it for a good price. I think like $10. I don't know exactly, but something like that. These were a little more at Joann's. They were on clearance for $7.50 a piece, $7.47. It's a Lion Brand Scarfy. It's really pretty color. It's got the lighting again. See, there's no really good lighting in this corner. That's why I have lights around me. So I have a light there, I have a light here, and I have a light up there. So I actually have 3 lights around me. So if it looks like I crochet in bad lighting, I don't. I also have a neck light somewhere, which is usually stuffed under my chair. This has 312 yards. It's called Wine/Truffle. And I only got 2 skeins of it, and one of them was actually in the middle of a mega yarn barf, because as you know, things are a little chaotic at Joann's right now. Well, it's not right now. That's kind of a permanent situation for them, I guess, until it's gone. But I got these yarns as well during that whole birthday procurement extravaganza. So next thing I'm going to be doing is my finished Friday work. So although I'm still weaving in the ends on the Ada cardigan, I was actually working on that this morning. I haven't attached my little toggle button and the little I-cord I created to toggle it. And that's how that would go once it's attached to the sweater. But right now, what I'll do probably should move this yarn out of the way. Let's just try it on. I really like the way it fits. Like I said, I ran out of yarn. So in my last podcast, I was like, oh, I don't know if I have enough yarn to do 2 sleeves. Well, I didn't have anywhere near enough yarn to do 2 sleeves, obviously. So what I ended up doing was recreating like the little pattern on the sleeve that is here. Okay. Doesn't exactly match my shirt today, sorry. And then I'm gonna put the little toggle button basically like right there. But I love it. I love the way it fits. It's so nice and drapey. This yarn is fabulous. Which will bring me to one of my dilemmas, but we won't bring that up yet. So right now, this is gonna be nearly done. Sorry, just tucking up my hair. This is gonna be nearly done soon, and I'll be able to wear it around. It's time for a haircut. That's my issue, is it's time to cut my hair. And I cut my own hair. So, and if you have really short hair, then you know you have to cut it a lot. Like, if you go get your hair cut, you're probably going every other week if you have a pixie cut like I do. So I'm just constantly cutting my hair. And sometimes I really need to dig in and spend like an hour just chopping it and thinning it out. And I just don't feel like it. So right now it's getting a little unruly. My husband's always like, oh, it looks perfect just the way it is. Like every time. Even if I chop it all off, he'll stay the same. So I'm not too worried about it. But it does get like thick and unruly up there. So anyways, that's one thing I would say I technically finished this week. And another thing that I finished, and again, I'm saying technically, because I turned in the photos to the designer. I did a pattern test for some earrings this week. Aren't those pretty? Tropical flower earrings. This isn't actually a pattern designed by Wellstone Creations, like who did these. Who did this earring pattern. This is actually an earring pattern designed by Featherly Crafts, who did this pattern. And just since we're on the topic, I'm going to give her a shout out. She's been she is just a really awesome person, has been great to work with. She's on Ravelry and on Instagram, and these are her first 2 little patterns that she has just released, and I ended up testing both of them for her. So that was really exciting. But here's my hack for testing earrings. Why do I only have 1 of each? Sometimes when I make earrings, I will make the full pair for like by the pattern test deadline. But a lot of times, like, what pattern tester doesn't have 3 or 4 or 5 tests going? If you only have 1 pattern test going, you're crazy. You are. No, I'm just kidding. I'm trying to whittle myself down to 1 test. I have got 2 pattern tests going technically right now once this Ada sweater's turned in. And then of course I have other works in progress that aren't pattern tests. So anyways, I'm trying to wrap up the pattern tests. So there's that. But if you haven't checked out Featherly Crafts, then you should go check out her page. She does awesome work, and she's got some really fun patterns out there, and I encourage you to go take a look. So next, what I am working on pattern test wise, and what I'm going to slowly start doing, is I'm going to slowly start introducing work that I'm doing that are works in progress or things I'm working on that aren't just pattern tests. I do actually crochet things that aren't on a deadline, believe it or not. Although I have a list of them going, and once I finish these other 2, I'll have 29 pattern tests under my belt. So what's it going to be for number 30? I don't know yet. We shall see. The pattern test that you are all aware of, if you've been following, is the ever so challenging but really rewarding Cozy Crop Cardigan by Brooks. She is on Instagram and TikTok. Stitch markers at the ready as always. Okay, this is the back panel. I'm moving along, folks. I really am. It's tedious, but as you can see, I'm more than halfway done. This is the back panel. As you can see, I'm more than halfway done because it's all the way over here. All right, so now once I learn how to talk, I'm going to be increasing and then getting this part done. Now, if you've been following along, then you know that I've got the front panels done. A couple things I would maybe do differently next time around. Well, I'd probably have the front panel stitches facing in the same direction, because literally I finished the entire panel and realized I've got the V's pointing in the opposite direction. And I'm just going to tell you that between you and me, because I'm not going to redo it. And my mom used to say, no one's going to notice on a galloping horse anyways, and that's probably true. Here, let me show you how it is cropped in the front. It's going to like come up to here, and then the back is going to go down. But my mom would say you can't see it on a galloping horse, but psychologically, I can see it on the galloping horse. So anyways, I would probably also go up a half hook size for each section. This is like 4.5 up here and 2.5 down here. And I would probably do 5 and 3 maybe. Anyways, this is from all the leftover yarn my mom had. This is Karen's Simply Soft Yarn Inspirations yarn in Ocean. And I don't really like this acrylic yarn. It's not my favorite, but she bought so much of it and I just don't want to waste it. I'm a person who will like use anything I can. As you're gonna see when I go through my thrifted find that I have for today to talk about. All right, so that is this project. The Cozy Cropped Cardigan, designed by Brooks, which is also a little bit challenging because you do have to go back and forth each row, but you get this really cool edge that looks not homemade. So I really like it because, I don't know, sometimes I think crochet has the impression that it all looks very, very homemade. And I'm not saying we want necessarily factory made things, but I like the idea that it just looks like kind of professional, if that's a good way to say it. Another test I'm working on right now, isn't this a pretty yarn bowl? I love this yarn bowl because it just holds a whole cake for me. It's hard for me not to look at it because it's so pretty. The glaze is really pretty inside too. But anyways, I'm working on this sweater weather jumper for, I think it's Crochet Knit Bits. She's on Instagram. And basically this is the front section or the back, one or the other. And I've almost got the other panel done. I've got 2 panels that I'm working, whoops, crochet hook into. So I need to make 2 of the same, and then I'm just gonna be doing granny square sleeves. Granny crochet, well, it's not granny square, but it's gonna look like that. It's gonna have that granny square design to the sleeves basically. But in the round, working it in the round. So that one is my other pattern test that I am actively working on at the moment. So the other thing I want to do with my works in progress is I want to start pulling out other pieces that I haven't finished, so that will help to give me the motivation and the inspiration to actually wrap things up. Or maybe I decide, hey, I just don't want to do this anymore. This one isn't working for me. Or there's pieces that I started working on 3-4 years ago that I just know that I would do differently now, if that makes any sense. Your crochet just changes from over time. So, and back when I had picked it up for the first time in a long time, working on like bigger projects like Afghans, I didn't really know what I was doing. And I look back on some of these projects and it's hard to finish them because I'm like, I can see all of my issues and mistakes. I almost just want to frog them and start over in some cases. So we'll see where I go with some of them, but some of them are worth finishing. So one of the things that I had found was a free pattern actually on Yarnspirations for something called the long lacy cardi. And you would use Red Heart It's a Wrap. Now, if you know me, wow, the lighting, I'm sorry guys. red heart, it's a wrap. So if you know me, then you know I'm not a big fan of a lot of red heart yarns, but mostly if I stay away from the Super Saver, I'm okay. Some of the acrylics are okay. This is cotton, and I really like this. Some people don't like yarn that has several strands in it, but I really do. It makes a beautiful drapey fabric. This is how I used to keep track of, well, I mean, I still can. I have a binder now though, but this is how old this project is it's still using my old-fashioned tag system of identifying what yarn, what color, what hook, and then the pattern that I was using. So this one I would love to finish because I am so close. And I started it because I went on vacation with my friend. Well, not with my friend. I went on vacation to see my friend in Florida. And I wanted to I wanted to have something I could, you know, really dig into the whole time I was there for 2 weeks, fly with, move around, you know, go about the country with. And I was like, wow, this would take a while to work through. And so what I did was I started it there and, you know, started getting pieces made. Now what I've got, just like the other sweater, I've got 2 front panels, as you can see. Isn't that pretty? The ombre effect in this is really pretty. So this is the back panel. So really, what am I waiting for? Okay. I don't know. I'm waiting to put it together and make sleeves. I think that's it. I actually think these are done. And I think I was just like, okay, next. And then I just put it down. So this piece is going to be on my agenda as a work in progress for like completion, because this will be perfect to wear literally as soon as it starts to get nice out. I will be so grateful to have this. So I love it. It feels beautiful. I just need to finish it. So I am using you guys as my accountability buddies to say, this is on the agenda. I am working on it. Dang it. Nothing's going to stop me. All right. So that is some of my things that I'll be working on in the upcoming week prior to next week's episode. And who knows, maybe some of this stuff will be done by then. All right, so first things first, if you follow me, then you know I have a pattern test right now going on. It's called the Soap Sock, and it just is a cute little crocheted pouch that works beautifully to hold bars of soap and keeps them intact and viable a lot longer than if you don't use that. These are really wonderful because they are just indestructible. They last forever. I have to force my husband to throw his away. And they cost nothing, really. It's like you can use dollar store yarn. You can make several out of one skein, and they last forever. Now, this one's made out of Lion Brand 24/7, and I got to be honest with you, it's probably my favorite one. But in any case, they're also biodegradable. I use the little nylon cord. That's not, but lots of my testers are just using the actual yarn that they use to make the sock as the cord. And if you're using cotton yarn or anything like that, then you're using biodegradable yarn. So even after you've used the heck out of it and washed it and used it and washed it or whatever and gone through 20 bars of soap in it, even if you put it in your compost pile or throw it away or whatever, it's gonna biodegrade into other things. So I love them. And the other thing that they are great for is your soap will last forever. Well, not forever, but bars of soap, especially if you like the nice bars, they tend to break down, deteriorate in days. My husband will go through a bar of soap in a week, and I will just be like, you know, because we like to buy nice soap. Some of the soaps are $5, $6, $7 a piece, and I don't want to burn through that in 5 days. So after just being exasperated, because that was our thing, we just loved nice soap, aside from the tea that I like. I'm like, I have got to do something about this. This is making me crazy. And I kind of went around online, and all I could find were like scratchy things made of nylon or hemp. And I'm like, who wants, I don't know. If you want to rub nylon or hemp on your body, that's fine, but not me. So didn't know this, but it feels like you're washing yourself with a washcloth when you're using it. It's just divine. So anyways, I've gotten a lot of really good feedback already from the people who have made them and are like, I'm making them for everybody I know. I'm taking them to market. I'm going to sell them, whatever, you know. So I'm pretty excited for that. The pattern should be out soon. I did a long pattern test because it's my first one. I'm building a website. I'm building podcasts. I got a lot going on. But it's all good. And this should be out sometime next week, I'm hoping. So if you're interested in your own little soap sock, the pattern should be out soon. All right. Some of the other works in progress that are designs in process, the dips that I did not talk about. Okay. It's kind of an embarrassing mess. So 4 years ago, when I decided to start crocheting again, I just started having ideas and doing things. My daughter, was getting married and I was playing around with like creating trivet pads for her. I was tired of trying to make halters that were hurting my head. I have really bad migraines. So I was working on this. This is like years ago. If you go onto my Ravelry page, you'll see this. You'll see this on there, pictures of it. And then another one that I had been working on, which again, this is just weird. I don't even know why I was doing it, but I have these as well. Eye patterns. I'm not really sure what I was thinking with the eye patterns. I kind of wanted to make like bags though. Not really sure. Whoops, backwards. So these are things I just made out of my head. I haven't written up the eye pattern or the bralette isn't even done. I'm not even sure what I'm doing with it. Got ideas, not sure. And then I had made like these really beautiful, is that backwards? Trivets on, I don't know which way is which way on these videos. So if I'm holding this backwards, I'm sorry. Because honestly, I can't really tell. I'll have to think about that. For me, this is right way. Yeah. So anyways, I wanted to do like a whole alphabet and I don't know, I had all these ideas. So I have a ton more ideas too. They're all written up. I have a couple of ways I keep track of crochet stuff. This is like what I had originally started with when I was doing like pattern testing and designing and stuff. And eventually I actually moved up to a binder to have different things like the sleeves, the tests that I'm working on. For each test, I actually will put the yarn at the end and like a piece of the yarn, notes that I have if I have any notes. Here is a sneak peek at what my pattern looks like that I am pattern testing right now. There you go. And it's kind of a long pattern because there's a lot of pictures in it. Just because the way this soap sock is formed, it looks really easy, but the bottom's kind of weird and you form like a basket. So anyways, that's my pattern. And that should be coming out next week. So I'm pretty excited. But that's how I keep track of like all my pattern tests, the patterns I'm working on. And I haven't incorporated everything into this binder. So for example, long lacy cardi, it's not in the binder. I'm gonna have to add the page, but I am hoping that as I do these podcasts and start, you know, taking the accountability of telling people what I'm working on, that I will start like transitioning things and actually getting things done. And I actually do think, I'm saying the word actually a lot, that's not good. And I do think that that will help. So accountability is key. All right. I lost my pot of tea. Here it is. I just want to do a little refill. This Takia container is fabulous. It keeps my drinks hot for a long time. And today I've got the joy down in my heart. So I'm going to drink some tea to the concept of bringing the joy. So a dilemma then for me. I want to go over my dilemmas just a little bit. Let's go into Ask the Yarniverse. So, should I? Maybe? Write up some patterns? Thinking of an eyeball bag of some sort, maybe. And this one I want to call the headache-free halter, which I know it doesn't look very impressive right now. And then I was thinking of doing like a whole series of, again, kind of crazy, but like crocheted, cursive-y, alphabet-y letters. Those are some of my ideas. Give me your feedback in the comments, though. I'd love to hear. Another dilemma. Love, 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 love this Yarn Bee discontinued acetate yarn. It's what I made this sweater out of. Love it. Discontinued. Hate that. Hate it. So here's my dilemma. I have 2 skeins of this because I bought it on clearance, so I bought what I could. This color is called Stone. But I have 2 skeins. There's only like 150 yards per skein, 180, excuse me. So I don't know what I can do with 2 skeins, 360 yards. Not sure. So there's one dilemma. Dilemma number 2. This sweater took 5 skeins of that yarn. I found 6 skeins of like a blushy pink color on eBay for, I think total it's like $40, maybe with shipping. 6 skeins would give me one with long sleeves, I'm pretty sure. So do I buy that? Now don't forget, I bought this yarn originally $1.47 per skein for a grand total of 5 skeins times $1.47, $7.35. I love the yarn so much though. So I don't know. Do I do that? What do you think? Because I would love to make another one of these with long sleeves in this particular yarn. I'm not super in love with the pink color that it is, but it's the only lot of 6 skeins of this yarn I can find anywhere like in the world somehow. Will I regret it if I don't buy it and recreate the long sleeve version? So there's my dilemma. Number 2 for the day. Next is going to be mail and announcements, shout outs, and all that sort of thing. I've already given Featherly Crafts her shout out for the day, so we've done that. But next is I'm going to go over mail and announcements. As far as mail is concerned, I've just been really excited to be getting emails telling me that I have a new YouTube subscriber here and there. I actually have mail that has come in the mailbox today. So I just need to go get that, and then we can open it up together because it's thrifting finds, which is super fun. And the last thing I will do in this, I'm going to just remind you that I've got a race to 1,000 on Instagram going. I'm looking for 1,000 followers, and I'm giving away this amazing package worth, I don't know, I think I did the math, it was like $150 to one lucky winner when I hit 1,000 followers on Instagram. To find out how you can apply, how you might be able to enter to win, if you go to my Instagram, you can find several posts there that say race to 1,000. And usually what you need to do is like, share, follow me, follow my Lock 5 Studio account, tag a few friends. If you want to pop it on your stories, that's great. And that enters you into this contest to win all of this cool, amazing stuff. I already went over in the last podcast, and there's big lists of it on Instagram, so I don't want to bore you with that. But I encourage you to enter to win or to tell your friends. Okay? So what I'm going to do right now, because I think it would be fun, is to head on out to the mailbox and grab my mail. Okay, I am back. Boy, it's breezy out there today. So I have got 2 thrift finds, 2 scores coming in the door today. So you can open these with me and see what I've got. I've actually got one set aside as well that I'm going to show you because I have some ideas for that as well. Speaking of working in progress and such. Sometimes I buy stuff just to wear right out of the package. Well, once I wash it. But other times I buy stuff with the intention of maybe being creative with it. So this one, I liked it right out of the package. Or I liked it as it was. Just a little yellow sundress with some pockets, thrifted. I think I got this for like 10 bucks. Knox Rose is the brand with the slash through. I don't know what that means, but I think I got this for like $10. So I'm really excited. That'll be fun for the spring. It's just below my knees. I'm sure you'll see me wearing that in a what am I wearing today or get ready with me or whatever post that I do. The other one, let's see. I hate to cut this bag. It's so cute. Like the little flowers. All right. I'm also afraid to cut bags for fear that I'll like cut fabric. There we go. It's always like cut a little sliver. I hope this is the one I'm thinking of. I've been waiting and waiting. All right, it's not. I found one piece that I will thrift crocheted pieces, and I found one piece that has like a crocheted bodice, and I bought it, but it's not here yet. I was hoping this was it. It's not. That's okay. This is one that has, okay, so this is one that I bought that I was like, oh, I want to do something with that, okay? As a big flouncy skirt. See that? And then it has like these stretchy top, which I never wear because, well, I'm not super well endowed up there, you know, so this would like just fall off. But what I was thinking, see how it has like this almost like macrame edge or whatever? I do sew as well. So this isn't an exclusively crochet podcast. This is like a fiber arts podcast. What I want to do is I want to like make this into a big flouncy flowy skirt, basically, like using that as the waist. So I will show you more of that. I know with landscape orientation, it's kind of hard to see, but that's what I'm kind of thinking for that. I should write down prices in advance, but I do have a general rule of thumb that if I can get it shipped to me for under $10, that's a great thing. I generally will never spend more than that, and sometimes even less. So like this was a few bucks on eBay, and then I think it was like $5 ship. This is Hollister actually, and I get a lot of compliments on it. It's one of my favorites. This skirt, again, you can't really see, knit long skirt, doesn't even have a brand. It was $8, I think, on eBay. Something else I bought with some creativity in mind that came yesterday or the day before is this long. Now, this long pretty dress here. Now, I thought this was cotton, as the description said, but it ended up being like a rayon. Also, the elastic waist, the elastic is kind of dead at this point. The elastic has lost its elastic. So, I got a couple ideas of what I want to do with this. It could just be a long skirt, obviously. Maybe. I kind of want to do, like, take the skirt off, obviously, and then do like a crocheted bodice, basically. So those are some of my thrift finds. One of them looks good right out of the package. The other two I actually bought with the intention of doing some upcycling. So stay tuned for that, because this podcast isn't going to be exclusively in this corner or crochet necessarily. It may have other stuff going on. So before I whack myself or somebody else, I'm going to put that over there. So that's the mail, the announcements. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't talk about my crochet hack. And this week, what I want to talk about is one of my favorite little pouches that I have. In my art studio, I have like a bin with just a variety of pouches, zipper pouches. And this one is one of my favorites. I don't know if it's an eyeglasses case or what. But what it's really great for, I have gone out and lost crochet hooks. Once you start buying nice crochet hooks, like your Clover crochet hooks, what you don't want to do is lose this out and about somewhere. And I've done it. So I came up with a system to not lose my crochet hooks, and I just have my little pouch in my travel bag. Every time I go, if I stop crocheting, I literally put it in there obsessively. If I start, I know where it's at, but we don't stop when we're like out and about traveling without me putting the hook away first. Because we like to visit places and go explore. So like this weekend, I don't want to get too much into it because my hubby and I are going to have adventures, but it's a good segue actually. So maybe we'll just do that. We'll segue into this weekend. My husband and I are planning on just taking some time off, maybe like a 4-day weekend. We may not even go anywhere and necessarily stay in a hotel, because honestly right now for us, that's a little bit financially restrictive, especially if, have you seen all the yarn I got? So that being said, we will do staycations and we will just take day trips. And so bringing my crochet with me is super important to me. And here's the bag I was talking about. I had one from Chick-fil-A, but it was kind of crappy. So we have a little town up here called Lake George. Are you familiar with? If you're not local, you might not know that. And if you are local, you're gonna be like, why is she talking about Lake George like she's talking to kindergartners? But for those of you that know me personally, I know it sounds crazy, but I do have people in India and California and Ireland and other places watching my podcast, so I have to pretend like they don't know what I'm talking about. So anyways, here is my Lake George drawstring bag. This is what I will use to walk and crochet. I will just put my project or my yarn in the bag. My little pouch can go in the bag and wait for me until I'm ready for it. My hook, my project, and I am just ready, walking along, having a blast. And then when it's all done, when I'm done walking or we're at a space where I need to eat my dinner or whatever we're doing, pop it all back into the bag. So that's kind of one of the ways that I crochet on the go. I do not really go anywhere without my yarn. If you see me, I have yarn. If I try to leave the house without my yarn, my husband is like, where's your yarn? So the truth is if you see me, I have yarn somewhere. You just need to say, where is it? And I will reveal it to you. So that is kind of one of my crochet hacks for getting more crochet done and exercising and I don't know, multitasking. So those are two of my favorite crochet accessories. My pouch. I have 2 pouches and they're my favorites. A couple last little things for the week. What am I drinking? What am I listening to? What am I watching? And what I didn't do the last podcast, but I am going to do this one, is I'm going to show you my artwork in progress as well. And not just my fiber arts. But what I am drinking today to crochet with, you are from here, you know that I have a love affair with the whistling cattle. If you're not from here, you may know that too. But if you're from here, you know the whistling cattle is really popular. It opened up about 20 some years ago, 22 maybe years ago in downtown Ballston Spa, and they have opened up several locations since all over the Capital District. They're fabulous, just a great vibe inside. They sell 100 amazing varieties of teas. I'm not a big fan of every tea, just because I'm a tea drinker. I don't drink every tea there is. I do not like rooibos teas. I'm not a big fan of most herbal teas. I'm kind of a black, green, white. So traditional tea leaves tea drinker. And I don't like certain teas that are traditionally associated with tea. Like I hate Earl Grey tea. So people assume, oh, you're a tea drinker, you must love Earl Grey tea. No, I don't. I hate Earl Grey tea. So this week, in fact, even though we're headed into spring, and I probably should be switching up to greens and whites, it's still off and on chilly, and this morning I was feeling it, so I went with Celebration tea, which is like a mapley, almond, cinnamon, just delicious, and then apple cider donut, that speaks for itself. So that's what I'm drinking today. I do a half and half blend basically of each and make a whole pot which I store in my handy dandy take-out for the day, which stays hot throughout the day. So that's what I'm drinking. What I'm listening to, oh my gosh, my audiobook this week. Have you ever listened to the original Grimm's Brothers fairy tales? Written in 1812. That's over 200 years ago. They're not the same as the Disney versions. Let's just say that. If you really want to listen to something really like shocking, it was written for children, I'm pretty sure, even then. It's a unique way of hammering home morals and accountability, I guess. On TV, on Prime, we are obviously still steeped into the narrowboat adventure of Country House Gent. He's got several episodes, so if you haven't checked him out, he's fun to listen to, and I really like him. He's pretty raw. Some of the other creators that we've watched have, like, you know, it's very British. You expect them to, like, you know, make it seem like everything is always proper and everyone is got their stuff together. And I like this guy in particular because, first of all, when he first goes out on the narrowboat, I don't know what had happened in his life, but he is like strung out in the first episode or two. You can tell this guy is like, he has been through the ringer, and then you get to like ride along with him as he starts to embrace his liberation from whatever stresses he had run away from. And you kind of like get to know him and cheer him on, but he's also, he's not willing to like sugarcoat what's going on in the canal system. Like, it's always really amazing for him, except on occasion there are some downsides. And so he's not afraid to show the graffiti. He's not afraid to talk about the gangs of thugs that will actually attack the people who are moored up for the night and such. So I like him because I think he gives just a realistic portrait of what it looks like to really survive solo on the British canals and what that looks like. So it's interesting. I definitely see us maybe one day hitting the road in an RV or something. You know, it's kind of a weird thought to relocate to Great Britain for canals, but I could see that too. Not gonna lie. So I think the last thing that I have to talk about actually is just my artwork. My artwork's in progress. And so if you don't feel like looking at that, you can definitely check out. One of the projects that I'm working on is called All Aboard, which is a colored pencil painting, drawing, whatever you want to call it. I stepped away from it for a while because I have not stepped into the studio, as I've been I was really sick with pneumonia for a while, and then I was just busy trying to get my health back. It's been a long time. So I started crocheting in January to get my feet under me, and then got it wrapped up in pattern tests, and I've kind of been stuck in there since. So once that's over, which as you can see I'm down to 2, I will have more time in the studio. And I was just I just haven't really left my room a whole lot. So if you want to know why I hang out in the crochet corner so much, it's in my room. I have a FiberArts studio down the hallway, which used to be my daughter's bedroom, but it's not as cozy. I have a space heater, chair, electric blanket, my windows, my everything. And then my studio is not uncomfortable, but it's downstairs. And it has been a bitter cold winter. So we would just keep the whole house really cold, and then I would just heat up the bedroom. So getting down into the studio means I have to turn everything up, turn everything on, heat everything up. And I was just trying to get through the winter blues before I did that. So we've had a nice week. And like I said, I've been just wrapping up these pattern tests, and I look forward to getting into other types of artwork. So that one was called All Aboard. This one, I forget what I was calling it, but it's an oil painting that I started the underpainting, and now I need to go into the glazes. It was a lesson that I was doing, and there's a bunch of lessons that I have at my disposal to go through, and I just haven't. Like I said, I'd not felt up to it. It's just so much to do, and so I really have to get my feet under me to do it. One thing that we have worked on in the meantime was my husband has worked on printing off prints of my artwork. So this is actually a painting. Actually, I should grab the original. It's right here. Hang on, be right back. maybe kind of weird, but this painting actually hangs in my bathroom, my master bath. And so we have gotten a really nice image of it and are able to create prints of all of my artwork. So that's just one of the many projects that we're doing, is making sure all of my art is documented, that we have it all up on the website, which I'm working on. Each piece has to have has to be photographed, then it has to have its own space on the website, basically indicating what it is, what you're doing with it, are you buying it, whatever. So and the ability to order it. We are just in the process of setting all this up. So it's tedious, it's involved. If I seem like I'm moving slowly, I am. But the cool thing is, as I have been building community and just sharing my process with people, sharing my heart with people and my work with people, I get really inspired and encouraged by the people around me. And it makes me not feel like, gosh, I can't do this, or I don't have anything to say, or nobody wants to look at my face. It makes me just feel the drive and the motivation to get myself out there, put myself out there and say, it doesn't really matter what, you think somebody might think. Just put it out there and share it with your husband, share it with your daughter. And who knows, maybe somebody else will enjoy that. I tell you what, I enjoy it. I enjoy it because now I am almost being an accountability buddy to myself. So if the only person who ever watches this video, because I have to edit it, so now I have to go through and watch all of my cringy moments on the camera, basically. But when I go through and I watch myself, it gives me motivation, impetus, the desire to pull my creative energies together in a way that is cohesive, that makes sense, that I can share with other people. And I can already feel myself from last week to this one, seeing like my own way of articulating what I'm doing and communicating with myself, my family, my friends, and the community around me at large. So I really appreciate you. I thank you for being a part of this journey. If you've liked this YarnCast podcast so far, I highly encourage you to subscribe, hit the bell so that you can get all the notifications of all my posts. Like, share, tell your friends and family. If you know anybody who's a fiber artist, say, hey, there's this crazy lady in her bedroom who's talking about crochet. I would love to have you just pass me along to the next person who appreciates tea, fiber arts, and cozy times. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic weekend. I hope that you have fun. I hope you have peace, and I hope you find love. See you next time.